This is Super Yacht News with E. Sisman.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So I hope you had a great weekend. Sorry we didn't do a video on Friday. We intended to, but some things came up and we weren't able to do it. We promise we'll do a Friday yacht spot. It's one of my favorite things that we do now. Actually, we'll do it this Friday. We've got some preliminary results from the autopsies of the British tech tycoon Mike Lynch, who died on his yacht, the Bayesian, when it sank in Sicily on the 19th of August. And the results point to suffocation. The results suggest also that it was from running out of oxygen while trapped on the boat. Now, according to sources with knowledge of the investigation, they referred to examinations that were carried out on the Saturday after the businessman's body was recovered from the yacht. Initial results of the examination of his daughter Hannah's body were inconclusive, the source told the Reuters news agency. They only ruled out trauma and wounds as the cause of death, leaving open the possibility that she ran out of oxygen or drowned. Now, the preliminary results from autopsies of the 4 other victims, Jonathan Bloomer, who was the Morgan Stanley International chairman, and his wife Judith, and the lawyer Chris Movillo and his wife Nada, indicated suffocation as the likely cause of death, judicial sources told Reuters. So all of the 6 bodies recovered from the yacht were found on the port side of the vessel, and the vessel sank on the starboard side. That could be down to just the fact that the bodies floated, but they seem to suggest that it was the people were trying to escape the water and moving over to the port side. Now, the port side forward guest cabin, which was not in use by anybody at the time of the trip, that's where they found 5 of the bodies, with the Hannah's body being found in another cabin further back. Initial results say that the 5 may have entered the cabin to find air pockets as the yacht sank. Further forensic tests have been scheduled for all victims, the results of which are likely to come within the next few weeks. Now, when we mentioned this in the previous video, a lot of people in the comments said that most people who die from drowning actually suffocate. And it's certainly true that in our searches online, we came up with the results that drowning is a type of suffocation that occurs when a person's mouth and nose are submerged in a liquid such as water. However, we're certainly not qualified to make that determination, and most articles currently have said there's a possibility that the victims survived the initial sinking and could have possibly been in air pockets on board the vessel as it sank. Now, I don't know if that came from the medical experts that they spoke to, or that they've come to that conclusion because of their lack of knowledge of the subject. If there's any medical doctors who watch the channel and they want to get in touch and give us some information, some qualified information that we can give on the channel in a future episode, please be sure to get in touch. You can get us in the email address in the ticker. It's news@theyachtReport.co.uk. We'd rather use those kinds of results than things found on the internet. I mean, you can find an answer to a question, but you have to know what question to ask, right? So anyway, if anybody's watching who can help us, please be sure to get in touch. Now, also in the last episode of Super Yacht News, we showed some AIS data from the last minutes of the yacht as she sank. And we explained that the data was missing. There was a data feed missing from the AIS. And as a result, what we visually saw from the AIS was not representative of what happened. The vessel appeared to turn to the port side and sail away from the wind, which was actually not what was happening. And that was due to the fact that the heading data, or the gyro input data, was missing from the AIS feed. So we explained that in the last video in more depth. If you want to go back and watch that video, which was put out on Thursday. The simplest way to explain it is if the vessel doesn't have heading information in there, then whichever way it moves, the AIS system assumes the vessel is going forwards. So a vessel moves backwards and they don't have the heading data, they just assume that the vessel is turning and going in the other direction. Now, when we showed the data on screen, there was quite a number of people in the comments that said that the time from the data of the Bayesian yacht and the time from the Sir Robert Baden-Powell, which is the yacht that helped to save people from the life raft, they said it was different, the different times. But the reason we showed the two vessels' data was just to show that one of them had a heading input and one of them didn't. I don't think it was really important that the time was the same. However, we don't want to feed any conspiracy theories on the channel, as we are a fact-based news channel. So we want to show you here, we'll put them side by side to show you that you can see that one of them's from Robert Baden-Powell and one of them's from the Bayesian yacht. And this is the last minutes of the AIS data, right up to 206, which was the last broadcast data from that yacht. Now, this is not something that we extracted from marine traffic after questioning. This is something that you can go and look at yourself. You have to have an account with marine traffic. You have to have a paid account, which allows you to go back that far back in time and look at that particular data. So, but if you have one of those, you can go and look at it yourself. So yeah, we just wanted to put that up just to make sure that there's no way we're not going to sort of start any conspiracy theories or feed any that might already be out there. All right, we'll move on to the next story. Now, this is incredible. In an almost identical case, a luxury yacht ran over a fishing vessel in Spain on the 3rd of November. Now, you might be thinking, hey, we already heard this story. This is a different story. The yacht's name is Yacht Laya, Laya, 20-meter yacht, just like the previous story. Ran over a small boat, the occupant of which was fishing in an area off Menorca, I think San Luis, off the coast of San Luis. Information provided by the Spanish Maritime Search and Rescue says that they received a call at 12:48 hours local time on Tuesday, in which the skipper of the yacht reported that he'd hit a small boat, which was now sinking. A 6-meter Pacific craft model had already sunk when the search and rescue services arrived. And the man in the boat, luckily, had seen the yacht approaching, and he said it was approaching at speed, and he jumped into the water. Now, luckily, he was unharmed as a result of seeing it happen before it happened. So and also luckily in this instance, the yacht actually realized that they'd hit another vessel, and they turned around and went back to help. Now, the fisherman explained to the local police that the luxury yacht passed right over his boat, and he had to jump into the sea to save himself. The skipper of the luxury yacht, who explained to the police that he had not seen the fishing boat. However, the incident happened, at 1 p.m. With good visibility, so it seems possible that maybe they were not paying the attention they should have been. And like I said, this was an almost identical incident to what happened just a week or so earlier, 23rd of August, also in Spain, when another 20-meter luxury yacht hit a fishing boat with 3 occupants inside. But unfortunately, in this instance, they actually killed one of those people. And in that particular incident, the boat continued on its way and didn't even realize that, according to the people on board, they didn't even realize they'd hit another vessel. The pilot of that boat said he was not aware of the impact, and that's the reason why he didn't return. And he has been charged with reckless homicide for killing the 20-year-old fisherman. All right, we'll move on to the next story now. You may recall last year we did a story about a collision between 2 commercial vessels in the German Bay in Helgoland, I believe it's pronounced. Incident happened, it's about 10 months ago, and one of the ships, the MV Verity, sank and 5 of the crew were killed. Well, the ship that sank has now been recovered as part of a salvage operation. Well, as you can see in the photograph here, half of the vessel has been recovered. I think by now they've got the front section as well. They had to cut the vessel in half to raise it. You can see the photograph here appears to show the impact of a bulbous bow of the other vessel. I'm not sure if that's what it is, but I can't imagine anything else that could cause that kind of shape to be impressed into the side of the vessel. The vessel has, like I said, been cut in half in order to be raised. That's why the forward section of the vessel is missing. The crane in the background of the second photograph here is still working to raise the forward section at that moment in time. The ship has been raised as it was in a busy shipping area, and it was deemed necessary to avoid any further incidents in approximately 40 meters of water, and was deemed a danger to shipping. The remains of the vessel will be towed to the Netherlands and be scrapped. And lastly, we'll leave you with this little gem from the Top Yacht on Instagram and the Darwin Awards, apparently. There's no information that goes with this clip, but I can interpret possibly what's happening here based on my own 25-year experience at sea. If you look at the boat carefully, you can see that the passerelle has been retracted and raised, and the girl attempting to jump onto the transom is potentially, depending on how you want to look at it, dressed for a night out. suggesting the crew members returning to the yacht, and they've returned late to find that they're locked out, essentially because the passerelle has been retracted, which is something that yachts do at a certain time. And usually you have to call somebody on board and ask them to come and lower the passerelle. But here, the Darwin Award applicant has decided to jump on board.
Is she okay?
Now, I might be completely wrong here. It might just be a drunken person deciding they can make it onto this boat. Find it very unlikely that someone would just decide to jump. And I think this has happened before. That's why I'm saying it as well. And like I said, the history with the passerelles, this is something that you do. You get back to a boat after midnight, say, they raise the passerelle so the person on watch doesn't have to stand there all night. Now, it appears to be quite amusing when you first watch it, but when you consider the dangers of falling into the water like this late at night, possibly drunk, there's nowhere to necessarily climb out of the water. It's quite a dangerous situation. You could bang your head on the way in. You could hit something in the water that you can't see. And the video abruptly ends. It doesn't show the girl resurfacing or anything like that. So if anybody knows anything particular about this story, it would be interesting to be able to update people. But that, like I said, there have been a number of people killed over the years who have gone out, who work on a yacht. They've gone out and they've come back to the yacht late at night, and they've fallen either off the passerelle or something, and they've fallen into the water. I was in Germany actually about 7 years ago in a shipyard, and one of our crew fell into the water returning home from the pub, and he was very drunk and he almost died. He lost 3 degrees. His core body temperature went down by 3 degrees, and he almost died of hypothermia. He was in the water for hours until somebody realized he was there. So it seems funny, but it's really, really dangerous. So I'd love to know if anyone knows any particulars about this story. Please get in touch. You can get us at the email address in the ticket, news@theyachtReport.co.uk. All right, guys, I'm going to leave it there. If you don't already know, you can join us on Patreon. You can find us at patreon.com/esysman. You can support the channel there. You can watch extra videos. We post a lot of videos on there about things that are happening. We just posted a video now about new merchandise that's coming, about our movements for September, what's happening with the Monaco Yacht Show, etc. So you can find that at patreon.com/esysman. Now, if you've got any information for us about any of the stories that we've done here today or any other stories, please be sure to get in touch. You can get us in the normal fashion. Like I said, you can get us in the email address in the ticker. You can get us on the About page of the YouTube channel. You can get us on Instagram and Facebook Messenger, on Twitter and on Threema. Be aware that most of our social media has changed now to @theyacht_report. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for future notifications. All right, guys, thanks for watching. I'll catch up with you soon. Bye-bye.